Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics. We've got a box from EGS Comics with their new slab in it. So let's open it up and take a look inside. All right, so EGS Comics, that's Expert Grading Services. They are the fourth grading company here, and they previously had been grading and using the do it yourself kits. Called Comic Skins. Now they're no longer using those. They got their own brand new slabs. So Tony over there sent one over for me to take a look at here. So we're going to take a look. Now, when he made his announcements about his new slabs, he also made an announcement that they would start shipping with these this new thing called slab shippers, which is from another company. And they're basically these styrofoam inserts that go into the U.S. Postal Service 1095 box. The 1095 box looks like a medium flat rate box, but it's not. It's a little bit longer. It uses regional rates, but allows you the extra space for the styrofoam with a slab. So it's basically you get two of these and two side rails, and the slab goes inside. Now, I used a bunch of these for comics curing cancer, and when I shipped them with the slab in the middle row, a single slab, so that way you had more cushion around it. You can, if you're shipping two, you can see you can reverse this the other way, so you have two slots and then your three slots. So you can ship one, two, or three slabs in there, and they just slide inside the groove. And you can see there's a piece of foam at the bottom. And what that allows is all those interlocking pieces of foam give the corners of the box and the side rails a lot of super rigidity. All right, so out of the box here, what we have, we've got a slab with a custom label. This is something that EGS does. I I will admit this is beautiful. The way this goes in here. I know that I in my first review of EGS Comics over a year ago, when I reviewed their product with the old slab, I really referred to this as like playing Barbie with your slabs. But I will admit, as from a display purpose goes, with a book like this, look how gorgeous they got the bats up in here with the color scheme matches this. It all blends together. That's just phenomenal. Um, very striking. Looks great. From that standpoint go there, the numbers in black up here is calling out. Now the down point is if you were a collector going through a bunch of books, you don't know what is this. Is this a the equivalent of a blue label? Is it a yellow label? Whatever. They don't get hung up in that. EGS doesn't with the custom slabs. The idea is that this is for you and your collection type of thing. Along with it, we get a certificate of authenticity. And the certificate of authenticity is saying that they're basically that they graded it. It lists on here the comic book. It says DC versus Vampires Killers #1 that was graded on this date 10/19/2022 and received a grade of 9.8, taking into effects the following defects that were found. And even though this was a 9.8, they call out corner scuff at the top and bottom left front corner or cover. So they're calling out the defects that make it a 9.8 instead of a 9 or instead of a 10.0. And then it's signed by Tony, who's their lead grader and owner of the company. And then it has a serial number. And that serial number is tied to the serial number that's on the back of the comic. So that's how they kind of tie together. Now, um, first impression of the book pulling it out, it's pretty solid. It's definitely the feeling it here. It feels similar to a PGX slab from a material standpoint, but definitely much more solid. Than there's no um, on the PGX, you get these four corners, and then it's just kind of like you can pull it apart and whatever else, and that you cannot do. Matter of fact, as I'm looking at it here, there are two additional pins in the middle, contact points. So you actually have 6 contact points as opposed to the 4. And then it looks like that they then used an adhesive or something along in there, because I don't know if this will come out, but you can sort of see it looks like that there's some adhesive seepage along here that then it's not too rough. So it feels like they then tried to clean it up afterwards, or while it was there, but you still get a little bit. It's If you're sitting there staring at the edge of your comic, it's unsightly. I don't know how often you sit there and stare at it, but in the world of, if you're comparing slabs one to another, I don't typically see that on the CGC CBCS. Um, so, oh no, what's this? Looks like we have a shard of plastic. Let's see if I can get right behind my thumb, right in front of my thumb. You can sort of see there's a shard of plastic. Oh, I see another one actually from this side. Let me see if I can turn it around. Down here in the bottom, it's settled. Let me see, where is it? It has settled into the very bottom. It just settled even further. All right, that's good, I suppose. There's a second piece of plastic that's in there too, but it is just dropped down into the very bottom underneath the well, so it's not gonna, it doesn't seem to be showing up very well now. Okay, cool. um so you have the book in there. We have a piece of shard plastic. I'm not sure where that's from necessarily. um so looking at it, so one of the things I'm seeing here, this is a similar issue that PGX has. So in here, the book is in the inner well, and they're sealing the book in the inner well. And if you can see, if you look at the seal line here, where it is in relation to the label versus where it is over here in relation to the label. So it makes it difficult to understand, is the book in there straight? Is the label in there straight? Is the seal line crooked? Are all of them crooked? Um, and it does look like, in addition to that line being crooked there, it does look like the labels in here are a little bit crooked as well too, because there's yeah, this is not going to show up very well, but there's a groove right here, and the labels at the top of the bottom of the top of this physical stick out groove here on this side. And when I go over to this side, the physical groove is here, and the label is now at the top side of it. So the label is a little bit wonky in there. Um, Enough so that actually I see if this will come out. Let me put this behind here to see if I can essentially, this, I don't think it's going to come out, but you can maybe see that corner of that label is dog-eared where it's hitting the post, or that contact point. Yeah, don't have that there. Um, Otherwise, I mean, it's solid. There's no flex to the case. I mean, even though it feels like a thinner material than, say, the CBCS case or CGC, it feels a little bit lighter. It has no flex to it, so um, it's solid. So that's good. Now, Tony told me that it does have a UV coating on it, a protective coating. I don't know what level of UV coating that is, but it is going to offer some UV protection to it, which is nice. Um, the Oh, now that piece of plastic is shifted over to that side. Huh. Um, so let's see. You do have a thicker slab now. Unlike the old comic skins, were super thin, and they had these hinges on top, so you couldn't put a label on here. So now you have a label. So when you put these in a box of slabs, you're going to be able to see what that book is. And of course, I'll also be able to hang it on the wall with my books, which is nice, because with these custom labels, I'm going to want to display it. That's all there is to that. Um, yeah, I mean, this is a huge step up from what they had before. Um, Is it 100%? Is it, the greatest slab ever? No. And some of that's going to be, hey, they're moving in a realm. They move from a self slab to their first gen slab, and they'll make improvements and notes from this one to go. But this is definitely highly serviceable. Good. I gotta say, it's probably the number three slab out there now. CBC, forget cosmetics and just look at how the feel and strength, what you suspect the from a tactile experience as to how strong it would be. The CBCS, of course, just their new slabs are just rock solid and feel bulletproof. CGCs, as long as we're talking about the comic book slabs, they also feel pretty solid. They have their issues, but they're pretty solid. Um, this is leaps and bounds ahead of PGX simply from a standpoint of even if it's the same material, um, it's solid across here. It doesn't. I mean, the PGX when you touch it, it just feels like it's coming up. It's open. You don't have that with this. This is solid. This is a highly serviceable slab. I don't think there's anything wrong with this casing. The biggest issues to me, um, is like I said, obviously these pieces of plastic I see here, that's troubling. Um, but I don't see where they're coming from. And shipping happens. I've got two more books that are in being graded, and when they come back, we'll review them and we'll see if I continue to have issues. This is in all full disclosure, this is a free sample that Tony sent out for me to do a review on, because it was free, and I don't normally take anything, or I make a point of calling out the fact that I don't take anything that other people don't get. I will not be keeping this slab. I'll ask Tony if he wants it back because to look at the damage, and if he doesn't, then we're going to give this away at the 1,000 subscriber giveaway for this channel. So yeah. um, the other thing I'm noting here, as I recall back to my original review of the first EGS time, um, I had originally had multiple books sent in, and every single one of them had massive Newton rings issues. And I don't see any indication or semblance of a Newton ring anywhere on this book. So that's a huge improvement because, I mean, I kid you not, every single one did. So yeah, solid number three. Give it a good C plus, maybe a B minus. We'll see how the next batch is that I get. And hey, Tony, proper job, man, with these poly bags. This is not some chintzy piece of plastic that just falls apart or a thick rubber you wouldn't want to use. It's got self-sealing poly bag, and it's got some like 2 mil thickness. That's a proper job. Good job, man. Um, Guys, check them out. Try for yourself, as I always say. Don't listen to me. Figure what you think for yourself. But huge improvement over the old slab it yourself kits. The one thing I will say, other than whether or not you like or not the whole dress up your slabs, you are going to get your grader's notes, and Tony is very transparent with the grading system. He has gone, I've seen him on multiple interviews, and he said, look, he uses the Overstreet guide to grading, and just the pure, not a modified version like the other folks. So if you learn the Overstreet guide, you will learn the EGS grading, and you'll be able to then make your grading for yourself. And so since Overstreet kind of became the standard, it's kind of nice to have somebody out there who's clear and with what that grading system is. So take that with the slabs, solid slab. Hey, great. This is exactly what we need. Is EGS going to be the top guy ever? Probably not. Do we need them to be? No. What we do need, though, is a solid third choice, because we see what happens with the two, that they just kind of play games with one another, and we kind of get stuck in the middle. And so having a third and a fourth option in this market It only benefits us as consumers, and especially whether it's a niche or not. You want to do something like this. This is great on some of these books. Turnaround times are posted online. He's fast. He's reasonably priced. Guys, give him a check out. And until next time, collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including myself. So I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.